Welcome to the Big Four Accounting Firms podcast, brought to you by big4accountingfirms.com and the Big Four Accounting Firms YouTube channel. Before we get started, just wanted to remind everybody to support us if you have a chance or if you can. Even $1 helps, and we have a link in the description to a website called Buy Me a Coffee. It's just a way to donate to us and support us. Again, any amount is helpful so that we can keep putting out content. And there's also other ways for you to support us in the show notes to this podcast or on YouTube in the description. Today's podcast, we have a lot of news to cover. We have a couple news stories about Deloitte and then one about KPMG. So first up, according to the website Washington Technology, Deloitte is getting a second shot at the housing and urban development contract in the United States. Apparently it was a cybersecurity contract, and HUD is a federal organization within the United States. And as you might know, Deloitte wins a lot of government contracts around the world and in the United States. And they've even been winning federal and state contracts in the United States, a lot of them relating to COVID-19, like unemployment website. They build unemployment websites. They manage the unemployment systems for various states. And some they've done okay, and some they've done really badly, and the states are mad at them. But either way, they're good at winning government work. And so then this story was that Deloitte, with their expertise, they protested the HUD contract for cybersecurity. They initially bid $76 million, while Kearney, which I think is a law firm, bids $50 million. And Deloitte did not let that go. It's too much money. So they appealed to the Government Accountability Office, and they won the appeal. So it'll be reviewed, and Deloitte has a chance to win that money. And Deloitte is saying that Kearney did not apply to the contract correctly. They didn't speak about the services and expertise that they had correctly. And as you see, $76 million is a humongous contract. It's bigger than most of Deloitte's audits. So now you see how important consulting is, and especially government consulting in this age of growing government under COVID-19. And especially with technology too, there's going to be more of these cybersecurity contracts. There's another article too that Deloitte had recently won a contract with HUD to help them with their budgeting process, and they beat a protest with Grant Thornton to win that bid. Now that one was way lower. It was only like a couple million. But still, the reason I'm talking about this is because I've been talking about these government contracts and how important they are, and how it's really going to set one firm apart from the other. And I think Deloitte is going to win a lot of these, and they're going to continue being the number one accounting firm. Not really accounting firm anymore. They're more of a consulting firm, and this is only going to solidify their position as more of a consulting firm. And along those same lines, there's a new story about Deloitte Acne. I know it's not a very good name, but this is in Europe. And Deloitte is expanding their Acne creative agency into Amsterdam. And you might or might not remember that they acquired Acne in 2017. And Acne has done work for H&M, IKEA, and Spotify. And it specializes in ideation, design, and development. So it's a creative agency within Deloitte Digital, which is an arm of Deloitte Consulting. And I spoke about yesterday with the resources about Deloitte specifying what their consultants do, and a lot of them were creative agency type people. So if you partner this with those resources, you can get an idea of what a Deloitte consulting professional does, if you're interested in that. I mean, I know a lot of people that listen to this are probably accountants, so they're not as interested. But just in case you are, just in case you're listening to this because you want to figure out Deloitte Consulting, you can check that out. The last news story is a press release, which I think is extremely cool, and I didn't really know about it, was that Coinmetrics and KPMG, they signed their first hedge fund client for their alliance. Now, KPMG has an alliance, and you can actually read about this alliance on their website with Coinmetrics. And this news came out of KPMG US. And they sold their... Coinmetrics is the leading provider of crypto financial intelligence. And they had an alliance with KPMG, and they built something called Ferrum. And they sold this Ferrum product to Strix Leviathan, which is a hedge fund for cryptocurrencies. I think they also offer proprietary trading tools as well. And Coinmetrics and KPMG built out this whole suite of tools for the back office part of for back office of a hedge fund or investment manager to make sure that they were complying, with back office types of things like accounting, admin, making sure they're not laundering money, also testing their blockchain. And that's what this Coinmetrics thing, this Ferrum product it does. It's a risk management tool, and Strix Leviathan's algorithmic trading strategies are already optimized for the volatile market conditions, what this press release says. And now Strix Leviathan can further mitigate risk by monitoring abnormalities across the underlying blockchains of individual assets in all fund investment vehicles. So that's what the Ferrum thing does. It allows you to look at the blockchains, the blockchains for irregularities, technical risks like network attacks, double spends, blockchain forks, or other abnormalities. So this is really a hedge fund for cryptocurrencies that they sold to, like the press release says. But it's interesting because cryptocurrencies are growing in popularity and the big four accounting firms are getting involved. And I've spoken about that in the past, but I didn't know that KPMG was already this far ahead of other firms and getting into the Coinmetrics thing. It's very interesting. I'll put a link to that. I think some people might be interested in this. Cryptocurrencies are only going to grow. Digital currencies are only going to grow. And so it's important that the big four accounting firms are getting involved. And I think it's interesting that KPMG is involved. And I'll link to their alliance page with Coinmetrics so you can read more about that in case you're interested. But as we see today, we have government consulting work and cryptocurrency consulting work, blockchain work. It's not something that you would expect an accounting firm to do, but they're doing it because they're professional services. And a hedge fund wants to invest, they want to trade. They don't want to necessarily worry about boring back office stuff. They don't want to have to hire a bunch of cyber security people to help them build out blockchain audit tools. So they're using Coinmetrics and KPMG's alliance, and things like that are only going to grow. So you can check that out. But those are the updates for today. Make sure to subscribe to this podcast, stay up to date. Support us financially through the Buy Me a Coffee link in the show notes to this podcast. And if you can't do that, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Big Four Accounting Firms. Thanks for listening.